Good morning. Once again, this is Charles Sine with Conversations with Dr. Johnson, our medical director at Anti-Fragility Health Clinic. How are you, Dr. Johnson?
Good, very good. Good
You're
morning.
feeling good?
Thank you for having me again. I'm feeling great.
You ate well last night? You've been breathing all this smoke in Southern California?
Well, I've been trying not to breathe the smoke, but that's not
So
always
talk
possible.
to us. The smoke, why is that a challenge right now with flu and COVID? How should people manage that whole breathing issue?
Well,
Perhaps masks are necessary now, Dr. Johnson.
yes. Well, the mask, the smoke contains these tiny particles that, larger particles are supposed to get caught in our nose as we're inhaling in the nasal hairs and in the nasal mucus. But the tinier particles just go right past it. We breathe them deep into our lungs. And these particles are inflammatory.
Yeah.
That's why people that are susceptible to asthma tend to have these worsening episodes when they're in smoke, because asthma is already a problem with inflammation in the lungs, and these smoke particles make it that much worse.
Yeah. Interesting. So those inflammation, the inflammation outcome from the inhalation, then increases your susceptibility to, or your vulnerability to flu and the other things, viruses that are attacking.
Sure. If your lungs are inflamed, they are therefore weakened, and they're therefore more susceptible to infections, whether it's viral or bacterial.
Yes. Okay. Does that make sense? Well, thank you for that short. But today we are going to be talking about my laboratory results. These laboratory results are from Boston Heart Diagnostics.
Yes, we're going to see if there's any hope for you.
Thank you. Whether I have some longevity outcomes from the labs, and whether some of the actions have been taken are showing some actual improvements or non-improvements.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So the Boston Heart Diagnostics, to just give you an overview, is a blood test that measures 4 or 5 different things. It measures inflammation markers. It mentions metabolics. Metabolics have to do with your sugar metabolism. It looks at your fat, your lipids panel. It looks at also your some underlying genetics with regard to your response to statins, and it also does a full blood panel.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So let's start. What is the first thing that struck you about my new results compared to the last one I did 3 years ago?
Well, let's look first at your lipids, which is cholesterol and triglycerides.
Yeah.
Now, your total cholesterol went up.
Yeah.
You went from 165 to 210. Is
Not
that
a good thing?
No. Is that a problem? No, it's not. There's actually a huge study in Europe that concluded that the ideal cholesterol level to keep you healthiest and prevent death from any and all causes, the healthiest cholesterol level was about 250.
Oh, wow.
Okay?
So which would have even put me in the red, but I'm still in the yellow in this report.
Yes.
Right. So in spite of everything I've been doing, chewing my omegas, my cholesterol went up from where it was.
Well, but that's a good thing, because your HDL, which is the good cholesterol,
Yes.
think of the H in HDL, think of that as helpful.
Yes.
LDL, the L is lousy, okay? So that's a good way to remember which of the cholesterols are good and which are bad. So HDL, the good cholesterol,
Yes.
we normally expect a reading between 40 and 60. Higher is better.
Yes.
You went from 45 last time up to 75 this time.
Should we be applauding this, Dr.
We
Johnson?
should.
Yeah.
We should.
Well, and people should be bowing, because it takes a lot to move these numbers, right, Dr. Johnson?
It does, yeah.
Yes.
And your LDL, which is the bad cholesterol, L for lousy, you went from 121 down to 115. So that's a modest improvement.
Modest. I like your scoring like my elementary school teacher. Like, you're very stingy with your grades.
Yeah. Our first goal is to have an LDL less than 130. Ideally, we'd like to see it less than 100. But your HDL is so good that pretty much cancels out any issue with the LDL. Okay?
Exactly. Thank you.
So you've done some very good work here.
Yes.
Okay. Now, triglycerides, the other fat,
Yes.
Less than 150 is considered normal.
Yes.
By holistic standards, we'd ideally like to see a reading down around 50.
Yes.
You went from 57 last time to 76. And the way we usually get our triglycerides under better control is by eliminating sugars, starches, alcohol, and non-fiber carbs from our diet. So
all of those things have eliminated
little room for
sugar,
improvement.
just sugar.
Yeah.
Yeah, the others I'm guilty, even the alcohol, like once or twice a week.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's a lot, Doc, right? At least to keep me sane.
Is it working? You're sure?
Yeah, I am sure. I am sure.
Okay. Now this next one is tremendously important. There's something called LP little a, lipoprotein A, which if you have an elevated LP little a, that's the worst cardiac risk marker you can have. And we want to see a reading of less than 30. You were at 52 last time, now you're at 21. So that's excellent.
But I think, is that also a genetic marker for risk?
There is certainly a genetic component, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. People with high LPA tend to have inherited that genetic issue from their parents.
Because my daughter has that, so yeah, so she need to pay attention to that.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
having inherited that, that's interesting.
Yeah.
But tremendous effort. You were asking me earlier what I did,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And I was mentioning all the different things. I don't know which one directly impacted it straight on, but there were lots of things I've done over the last couple of years. That's one of the first things I did when I opened the clinic in 17. We actually launched in 18, but I started doing the diagnostics. That was November 2017.
Very good, very good. Okay, now the next thing is CRP. This measures inflammation in the walls of arteries. As you can probably imagine, we want our inflammation levels to be as low as possible.
Yeah.
So with the CRP, we want a reading of less than 1.0. Your previous result was 2.8. Now you're down to 1.1, which is almost right on target. Very, very close.
I need to still push it.
Now you're taking SPM active, are you not?
Correct.
Okay.
But not regularly, but after these results, I started taking it regularly.
2 pills every day.
Yes.
Every day.
They're very expensive, but you know, life has to be spent expensively.
Yes, definitely. Okay, hemoglobin A1C. This is a diabetes test. It measures your long-term blood sugar control. So with hemoglobin A1C, we want lower levels. We want a level of 5.6 or less. You were previously at 5.7, which is pre-diabetes.
Yeah.
You're now at 5.2, which is very good.
Can I hear the applause there? So I really, really tried to cut the sugar.
And you obviously have...
Yes, I have, and removed a lot of, reduced the rice, the bread, actually the pasta almost zero in the last couple of years.
Okay, very good.
I've cut the starches significantly.
Yeah, yeah. Your fatty acids are still a little bit out of balance, not bad. Looks like you could probably use a little more fish oil.
Really?
Yeah.
So I started chewing them about 10 a day now.
Well, why don't you get the liquid and just, then you don't have to...
I don't feel, I have the history from my childhood of drinking castor oil every Saturday. And so liquid oil has this...
Well, if you're chewing the fish oil pills, it's the equivalent of just swallowing.
I know.
And why don't you mix it in a protein shake or a fruit smoothie, and it'll just make it taste rich and creamy.
All right. Actually, that's an idea.
Yeah.
And just buy the liquid, which one, like the MCT oil or the...
No, the Orthomega.
Yeah, the Orthomega, and then crush it in there.
No, it comes in liquid form. You buy it in liquid form.
Okay, can we look at that, Elizabeth? Orthomega in liquid form? Yeah, let's look at that online. Yeah, so you just mix it with, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And how much of it you would recommend is
at
the optimal level?
If you were to take 1 tablespoon twice a day, that should be good for your situation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay.
People who need less can take a teaspoon twice a day.
Or you just eat more fish?
Well, you can, but
You would have to eat a whole shack every day.
I definitely would stay away from shark.
Yeah.
They're very high in mercury.
All right, so salmon or some, what are those little fishes? Sardines.
Yes.
I love sardines.
Yeah, or mackerels, yes.
Oh, mackerel.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
eat a lot of sardines.
Yeah, you should have a case of sardines in your emergency food preparation kit for the next big earthquake or wildfire.
Yes, I do have sardines, yes.
Or riots, whatever the case may be.
They're coming after the election, so get your sardines in your preparation packages.
Okay, now probably one of the very most impressive improvements here is in your creatinine. This is a measure of kidney function.
Yes.
And we want a reading of 1.2 or less.
Yes.
You were previously at 1.77, which is technically early kidney failure.
Yes.
Now your reading is 0.52, which is absolutely perfect.
Wonderful.
This is a shockingly good improvement.
Shockingly?
Yes.
You look at me and you're shocked about this, Doc?
Not when I look at you, when I look at this.
Well, yes, we're going to get confirmatory test on creatinine. Dr. Johnson has recommended that. The results were shocking to me also. But as I said to you, I have taken stem cell treatments intravenously, IV therapy with stem cells. I've done a lot of IV therapies. Most of you who watch have seen me doing a poly-MV and plaque X, all of which help with regard to repair and regeneration, and lots of supplementation and lifestyle changes. So I'm hoping that the results can be verified in a subsequent test, and we know that because that's a very important number, creatinine.
Yes, that's very impressive.
Yes,
Yeah.
and because obviously I don't want to go into kidney failure and therefore dialysis.
Yeah, definitely don't want to do that. Fortunately, we have ways of bringing people back, of improving their kidney function
I
and
forgot to
normalizing.
mention that I've also been taking the FSM,
Yes,
the energy treatment for the kidney also.
yes, frequency-specific microcurrent.
Yes, and I've taken about 4 before we did this test.
Yeah, this gives your kidneys the precise healing electrical microcurrent frequency
Yes.
that they need in order to be in a younger
To be
condition.
healed. Yes, to
yes.
regenerate.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, vitamin D level. The mainstream medical range is 30 to 100. My holistic target is the very top of the range, around 90 to 100. You started at 32. You're now at 61. So that's dramatically better,
Yes.
but there's still room for improvement.
But I've been on a therapeutic dose now for a couple of weeks. 1 week, 50,000 units a day, then 1 week off, 1 week on, 1 week off. So I may have to test for that again.
Yes.
It's just how critical, talk to us, Dr. Johnson, how critical is vitamin D?
Well, vitamin D plays many very important roles in the human body. Technically, vitamin D is not really a vitamin, it's actually a hormone.
Yes.
But when they first discovered it, they thought it was a vitamin, they named it that, and everybody got used to calling it that, so that just kind of stuck. So, if you have low vitamin D, you're likely to be more susceptible to osteoporosis. You're likely to be much more susceptible to diabetes. You're much more likely to be susceptible to cancers of any kind and all kinds. And you're more likely to be susceptible to colds, flus, other infections, COVID-19.
Yeah.
I recently heard a statistic that people who only take 1,000 units of vitamin D3 per day, which by holistic standards is a little tiny baby dose. Most of my patients need more like 5,000 or 10,000 a day. But even taking 1,000 a day will reduce your risk of COVID by about 70%,
Correct.
which is
As we
which
know,
is pretty big.
during the plague of the 1918, they used to put all the patients out in the sun,
Yes, they did.
and the recovery was very high. Why didn't we do that with COVID patients? Just put them out in the California sun.
Well, because we need to lock them indoors where they can't get any sun, right? I mean, that's what the plan from the top has been. Isolate, lock yourselves in
Well,
a...
they should be out in the sun taking vitamin D and
Yes.
improve recovery.
Exactly.
Also the fresh air.
Exactly.
Yeah, but we were worried that we're going to be coughing COVID into the air. So we locked them into apartment buildings.
Yes. Quarantines are for sick people and or for highly vulnerable people,
Yeah.
nursing home patients, for
Yes.
example. Those people should be protected and quarantined.
Yeah.
But for healthy people, from a medical point of view, it doesn't make much sense to me.
Yeah, but even if we're quarantining those vulnerable people, they should be able to go outside
Yes,
and enjoy the sun and the fresh air.
sure. Go into their backyard.
You
Sure.
pack them into a bus and take them to the beach for the whole day.
There you go.
And they can enjoy the oxygen,
Yes.
the sunlight, and the fresh air, right?
And the negative ions that the breaking waves generate, which are
Yes,
very good for health.
your health.
Those
right?
negative ions are antioxidants.
Exactly. So,
Yeah.
see, I was already getting a therapy for all those patients. Rather than lock them in their rooms
Yes.
and then
Yes.
start worrying about how we're going to,
Yes.
Go ahead, Dr. Johnson.
Well, I think we've about covered it, except for perhaps your testosterone level.
Yes. I still suffer from a low libido.
Yes.
So isn't it dangerous to increase my libido, Doc? I might go around like just thinking about sex all the time.
Well, that sounds like a personal problem. Look, testosterone, please don't think of it as the sex hormone, because if you do, you're missing the big picture.
Correct.
Testosterone, youthful levels will give you stronger bones, stronger muscles, stronger heart, help keep body fat levels low,
Yes, that's
helps
the
keep
big-
mood bright.
Yes.
And then there is the sexual aspect to it. For men, stronger libido, stronger erections. But if you just look at the sexual aspect, you're missing the big picture.
Yeah.
Think of it as the strength hormone.
Yeah, because in spite of all the health things I've been doing, losing this fat has been very challenging.
Yes.
And I think it's that low testosterone. So
Yes.
I'm going to get on.
Yeah,
top
we're
of
going to get that fixed for you.
Yeah, wonderful.
Okay, I think that was the last thing that we really needed to discuss here.
Yes,
Yeah.
that was it. So,
Yeah.
Dr. Johnson, overall, a significant improvement
Yes.
and a testament to our intervention strategy around lifestyle,
Yes.
around nutritional wellness,
Yes.
around environmental wellness,
Yes.
because I didn't tell you that I've done some detoxes, around emotional wellness, trying to cut myself away from any talk of Trump winning or losing, reducing stress.
Well,
Right. And physical, because I play tennis almost every other day.
So here's the thing. Stress is not about what's happening to us
Yeah.
or happening around us.
Yes.
It's really all about how we're reacting to what's happening to us. So, for example, I have learned to just let things go. So I can still watch the news and I don't get stressed out about it.
No, I cannot. Because I cannot stand stupid people. Just like Jordan Peterson said, read more, get more intelligent.
Yeah.
The stupidity is not genetic. It's an outcome from laziness.
Well, it's kind of a choice.
Yeah, exactly, being stupid.
Yeah.
Well, let's end the conversation today with Dr. Johnson saying being stupid is a choice. So join us in our past videos and future videos to learn more about your health and the things that are going to move you to a great place. Thank you, Dr. Johnson.
And if you have family and friends that you think might benefit from this, pass it on.
Correct. And
Yes.
make sure you join us. Usually, sorry we've not been keeping the time, but pay attention. Karen and Mike, who support us in this, would give you notice of when we're going to go live, and you can always watch it on repeat runs and create watch parties. Looks like there's a question.
Yes, we have a couple questions. First question is, when is too early to come in for cancer screening?
When is too early to come in for cancer
Like
screening?
basically, when is a good age to come in for cancer screening?
Well, you can do it at any age. I mean, we all know that there are childhood cancers that happen. So screening at any age is not a bad idea. Having said that, what's probably realistic for most people is to start thinking about that around the age of 30. And if you're still putting it off, then absolutely by the age of 40. Because the reality is many cancers have been growing for 10 to 20 years before they're big enough to be clinically detected.
Correct. And our laboratory diagnosis would begin to see the biochemical issues that are supporting and that promote
Yes.
cancer. Cancer is an outcome from underlying clinical imbalances.
Yes.
Right.
And
What-
toxicities.
And toxicity.
Yes.
What's the next
The
question?
second question was in regards to your kidney improvement. Someone asked what were the things that you did in order to reduce those numbers?
Yeah, so I specifically said I did a couple of things. One, I did a couple of stem cells, IV, intravenous therapy with stem cells. Number two, I did a lot of detoxes. Number three, I did IVs for poly-MVA and for plaque X, all of which that improves the antioxidant and the reduction of a plaque on my arteries. On top of that, I also take all the supplements that I have been recommending to everyone, right? All the supplements with regard to the RDA and all of that. So I've been taking my supplements, I've been exercising, I have been sleeping well. Actually, one of the biggest improvements over the last 3 years is my quality of sleep by taking melatonin, magnesium, and some other things to ensure that I go to bed early and I stay asleep at least for 8 hours, really significantly improve my quality of sleep. So those are the things. There are a lot of things. That's why we call it a lifestyle transformation.
Or extreme health makeover.
Yes, extreme health makeover. Actually,
Yes.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's a good. Any other questions?
Those were the two.
All right. So thank you once again, Dr. Johnson.
My pleasure.
That was a very illustrative and exciting exploration of my results.
Well, good. I'm glad it was helpful.
Thank you. And so come and do your diagnostics. And who knows, you may choose to share it with us and the community so that we can all improve. As Dr. Johnson said, we can go for an extreme health makeover so that you can live long and healthy. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.